Hello everyone and welcome to the big match preview. It is Arsenal versus West Ham. Huge London derby coming up. And bad news, it looks like Paqueta has had a fresh new injury and could be out for up to 4 weeks. And we're going to get into this and talk about why Nicky thinks this might be the last time we see him at West Ham. We're going to get into the teams we want to see and a bit of Soler news that have that seemingly come out as well. So, Nick, obviously, listen, you've recovered from your chicken shop nightmare on AFTV.
Oh, yeah, just about. Listen, there's a couple of things I want to do, a couple of disclaimers here, right? So I'm going to hold my hands up here and say I didn't agree with some of the stuff that was at the end, yeah. But I was at that point where I would just fucking listen. If you'd have put it in front of me, I would agree with anything, right? And I cheated. I did cheat, and I'm going to own my own. But
I respected you for the Paqueta thing, though. I respected you for that. That you couldn't fucking agree with that. The Paqueta, the Canio, sorry, the fucking power.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But that's I cheated on that. But I could have just. I knew what he was going to say, and I could have just said that. But I cheated my way out of that. So I just thought, fuck it, I'm going to make a stand here because there is some stuff I didn't agree with, but I just agreed with it anyway. But fuck it anyway. That's the name of the game. I'm telling you now, right? For anyone that's asking, that sauce is not a fucking joke, mate. That sauce is no joke. It is no joke. I'm telling you that.
We'll have to get it and we'll do it on air. We'll all the rest of us will see.
Well, I'll tell you a little story, right? Just before. Sorry, I know we're going off fucking tangent already. So there were some kids in there watching us, and they obviously knew us from AFTV, from West Ham Fan TV. And as we was clearing up, because they obviously give you a big plate of food, I said to one of them, "Oh, would you like to try the volcano sauce?" And a woman literally dived over the counter, yeah, and was going, "No, absolutely not going to be able to try that." I said, "Why not?" She goes, "If anything happens to him, we're liable, so he definitely can't try that." And I'm like, "What the fuck have you just given me? What have we eat?"
That's it. No, we'll save him. But listen, you don't care what happens to you.
Yeah. But listen, I'm talent on the day. I hate calling myself that, but I didn't say no disclaimer or nothing, Robbie. You know what I'm saying? So if anything happens to me, mate.
Yeah, there you go.
You'll have 2 losses this week.
Listen, let's hope we can get something on the weekend. It's going to be a tough game, but it's going to be even tougher because once again we're going to be missing Lucas Paqueta, who has been sort of, apart from the Brentford game, which no one was good, he's been like a new player under Graham Potter, and it looks like he's had a fresh ankle injury. If you see it in the thumbnail, he's got his foot in a boot, and apparently it was through a sort of a bad tackle from Wan-Bissaka in training is what it's come through. And it's one of those things that happens in training. It's just our luck right now. And he's going to be missed 4 weeks. That's, he's April. We're probably looking at he come back. It's not good.
Well, his hearing's next month. So,
yeah,
we'll talk about that in a minute.
Is it next month? I thought it was going to be. I thought they pushed it back to the summer.
I heard it was March. I've heard it's March. It's coming up in March very soon. So, is it an injury? Is he running away? You know what I mean? I don't want to speculate, and I know a couple of people got upset the other day with something that was said on Emma's chat. So I'm not going to speculate, but it's not looking good for Lucas Paqueta. I'm going to say that from the information that I'm getting in terms of what's going on in Brazil, not so much just the football stuff, but the criminal side of it. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. So we'll have to keep our eye on that. And obviously, anything breaks, we'll get it straight to you. But it's convenient, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's it. Look. I think it's personally fine to speculate. It's news. It's a topic. We have no sway or anything whether he gets found guilty or not. We're just fans who can look at what's being reported and say, doesn't look good, does look good. I'm hoping that the lawyer, because I believe they got I think it was the Man City lawyers for him. Like, they've got really top lawyers for Paqueta. Yes, there's some definitely reports, like I said, with the uncle, all these reports of coming down that he's getting stitched up. But I just hope, because it would be, if he does get banned, it'd be such a blow for the club, because not only I think he's going to be a good player for Potter, but we lose out on any value for him. Like, we can't sell him at all.
Before we get into that, if it comes out that he's guilty, hit him with everything. Hit him with everything, in my opinion.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not.
And if it comes out that he's guilty of doing that, fixing betting, fixing games, because it's not just the fact that he's fixing games, he's getting yellow cards for us and he's picked up bans for us. You know, that's not respecting a career. That's not respecting football. That's not respecting the integrity of the game. If he's guilty, and I've said this all along from day dot, you know, I don't think he is guilty. That was my personal opinion. It doesn't look good with his uncle or his and you know the stuff of his brother. But I've always said, you know, you'd have to be fucking stupid to do that as a professional footballer. You'd have to be stupid to be caught up like that.
The figures that they're talking about as well, like it's nothing.
It's peanuts
compared to what he earns.
Compared to what they earn, yeah, it's not peanuts to me and you, but it's peanuts. You know? So yeah, I hope that it's a load of bollocks. I hope that he didn't know nothing about it. But if it turns out that he did know something about it, I don't care West Ham player or not. Hit him with everything, because it's not in the spirit of the game.
Yeah, no, listen, I completely agree. Like I said, it will be a blow for the club, because we lose a player and we can't sell him. We get no transfer fee for a player that could be worth quite a bit of money. We might be entitled to a bit of insurance money or something like that, maybe, but it won't be that much. But just on his injury,
it'd be the same sort of deal that they with Adrian Mutu with Chelsea, when they had to sack him over recreational drug use. They'll just be pursuing him, and it's 51 million quid. The geezer's going to be banned from football for life. He'll have no earning potential. Obviously, maybe they'll have to sue him for wages as well, for the games that he did miss, and the games where he hasn't been at his best. You're going to be chasing this money for forever. He's never going to be able to pay it back, because he's not going to be able to earn it.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that we are helping him with the cost for the lawyer. I mean, we've been involved in the league, helping get the legal team sorted. So there's that as well. So listen, for his sake, for our sake, for everyone's sake, I hope he is innocent. But in the short term, the injury, it's a blow. It's another blow for West Ham, because he has looked so good for us under Potter. And 4 weeks for the ankle injury. It gets to April, then he's got to get up to speed again. And there's a lot of games. There's a lot of games coming up. Obviously, we've lost Somerville. We've got Fulkrug out. So it's like we sign a forward in Ferguson that we want to add to our attack, and we lose a attacking player. So it's frustrating going into this game that we already know the Arsenal game is going to be a tough game. And now he's going to have to evaluate what he does, because Paqueta definitely would have started without a doubt. And he's going to have to start Ferguson. There's no two ways.
Yeah. I was actually talking about this today. What does he do, and who comes in for him? And I was talking about the front three. For me, it's got to be we revert to a back five. Tadebo's back available. God for fucking bid, we have to see Mavropanos, but I think that's the logical choice, is that we revert back to the back five. And
he did score against them last season, didn't he? Was it last season Mavropanos got the goal against?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. But he was
his old team.
There's a long time between last year and this year, and there's a lot gone wrong for Mavropanos. I don't want to see Mavropanos again play for West Ham, if I'm honest. If there's everyone else is fit, and I include Aaron Cresswell in this, he doesn't play for me. He doesn't play. He's not good enough. And I'll say that with I'm not going to say a pinch of salt. I'm fucking serious when I say it. But I do say it with a heavy heart because I don't want to be like that with any West Ham player. You know, I want everyone to be good enough. But there are certain players that you look at, and every week I see that guy make a mistake after mistake after mistake, and I've willed him to do well. I really have, you know, and I've given the benefit of the doubt last season when he made that mistake against Crystal Palace. But I've seen him make mistake after mistake after mistake since then, and I'm not a fan. And I'm going to say that with a heavy heart. I'm not a fan of his, and I think Dave on the fan cams was right the other day. One-legged anyone plays over him.
Yeah, it's a shame because there has been games where he's looked good in, but I think to what we're doing in this season, where we've tried to be a little bit more possession based, even under Lopetegui, it just doesn't work, and he hasn't got the legs to play as high up as he's been playing. So yeah, listen, if it's a back five, which we have to play a back five, and Tadebo's in there, I'll be a little bit more comfortable because we've got that cover then. But if it's a back four, he cannot be playing in no back four. A lot of people are talking about. 1 second. A lot of people are talking about this Brady podcast. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it.
I'm going to go and look at it straight after this, and I'm going to do a video on it straight after this. So
yeah, there you go. So it will be covered once we've seen it. So we'll go check it out. But yeah, and the thing is, we said on Post Match Pint, that we was unsure why he went to that back four against Brentford. So if he keeps it for Arsenal, I'll be even more surprised.
He will not keep it for this game. He will not keep it. We've looked better with a back five under Potter. We've looked a lot better with a back five under Potter. Listen, I feel a bit sorry for Graham Potter because he was getting pelters today on TalkSport. I went to work this morning. I was watching TalkSport, listening to TalkSport as I was in it, and he was getting pelters about, is he under pressure and all that? And I was thinking to myself, I mean, the guy's come in at probably the worst time of the season with the worst amount of injuries we've had for a long, long time. Listen, the performances against Palace and Brentford weren't good enough. They weren't good enough. But I'm sure that if everyone was available at the time, I think we'd have done better in them games. And you have got to look at the positives. The result against Aston Villa, the performance against Aston Villa, the performance against Chelsea, the performance against Fulham. Who were informed sides at the time. And I think you've got to look at them and say, it's going to come. It's going to come. It's just, I'm very, very disappointed with some of the comments, but it's always going to rage on, especially with the geezer up north doing as well as he is, over at Everton. So,
yeah. 100%. By the way, Aston Villa are beating Liverpool right now, which
will
G up Arsenal.
It's not good for us.
No, that's it. They'll get some. But listen, I don't think they're going to win it. I don't think they're winning this league. Well, they've got the injuries that they've got. We're going to get into it in a bit, but when you talk about Saka, Havertz, Jesus, Martinelli, Tomiyasu, who's always injured. They've got some key injuries up top. So for them, listen, going into this game, Paqueta news has put a dampener on it, but I'm weirdly confident that we can get something. Scott was like, no way. But I think with their lack of forward power and if we looking more organised in that back five and what we've got, I think we could at least get a draw.
I think, when you look at it on paper, Paqueta playing would have been a massive for me because he makes things work. He makes things happen. But we did beat him last year when he went off injured. If you remember correctly, he went off injured pretty early last season, and we still pulled up a performance. But Paqueta playing would have been key for me because he listen, for all of his his negativity that's surrounding him at the moment. When he wants to play football, he's a marvelous football player. He's marvelous. He keeps the ball and he makes things happen, and he's got the ability to lock in. But we have got some other big players as well. Souček seems to step up in times of need. With a goal or two. And we have got players like Bowen, and we have got players like Kudus, and we have got players like. Should I say him? No. but I'm not going to say him. Danny Ings, that can, that can pop up with big goals at the time. So listen, it's not all dampener. The other day I looked at them, Arsenal, and I wasn't that impressed with what I saw in terms of the game before. The geezer that come on. Leicester are poor. They're a poor side. They're probably one of the least in the, and it took them to the 81st minute to score a goal. Yes, we are vulnerable. Yes, we can't concede too many set pieces, but it is what it is. You have to go into these games, and if you're not confident, well, what the fuck's the point in going?
Yeah. And getting on to the Soler thing, because I think how we utilise Soler in this game will be key, especially now with Paqueta out. We cannot put him on the wing again. We've seen him do good things in the midfield. He is not good in the wing. Now, I saw I can't even say, and I haven't seen the full article. I saw a quote from like a news aggregator, one of the West Ham news aggregators, who, when they quote the stories and they attribute it to someone. So if anyone wants to correct and say, well, this isn't what they've reported, then tell me. But it said that West Ham ain't looking to pay the 16 million or whatever it is for Carlos Soler because of his 240 grand a week wages. Now I'm kicking myself because I quoted it and I was like, bloody hell. I said, like, he's got to be mad if he thinks anyone's giving him that. Now, a lot of people jumped on and said, listen, we've checked it. That's not what he's getting. He's getting 80 grand a week. We checked it on Capology. He's on 80 grand a week. So where Claret and Hugh, who this was attributed to, have pulled that 240 grand a week. Some people are saying, oh, it's a Sullivan thing. It's easily checkable. It's easily verifiable. Now, I didn't do my due diligence, and I apologize. But why would that's nearly 4 times the wages? How could you even get that wrong? Or why would you think you get away with it? Yeah,
exactly 3 times the wages.
3 times, yeah.
With being harsh, they say what they're told. They tell you what they're told to say. I'm not going to say.
Do they think listen?
I think we're idiots. The club think we're idiots. Yeah. I've also read today that the club are thinking about raising, bringing in early season ticket prices, bringing in early season ticket money, and there's going to be a price increase of at least 5% across the board. I think if they start doing that, especially at this time, the season's been shit. It's been shit. We don't even know what division we're going to be in. I think they're banging their heads against a fucking brick wall, if I'm honest with you. But listen, that's for Friday night. I think that's for Friday night. I want to go and look.
Yeah.
I want to watch this podcast before I do anything and say anything, because I'm sure that we're going to have a lot more to say on it with a few more of us involved on Friday night.
Yeah, we'll get into all that Karen Brady stuff on there, because like I said, once we've seen it. But yes, Soler, I think is going to be. A lot of people have said that he hasn't been good enough. He hasn't done good enough. I think it's slightly harsh because of how he's been utilised in the squad. He's been put all around the pitch, and he hasn't been able to cement one position. I think if he played in that sort of 8, that centre midfield role consistently, we might have got to see the best of him, because we have seen him do well in that position. I don't like this Souček Alvarez midfield as much. I would like to see an Alvarez Soler. I think you get a little bit more balance, or a Ward Prowse. I think.
Funny enough, I was just about to mention Ward Prowse. I think Ward Prowse plays in the 10 tomorrow. That's where I think I think you're playing the 10. Yeah. Saturday, sorry. So tomorrow. It's Wednesday, isn't
it?
Yeah, I'm well off. But I think he plays in the 10. I think he's when I think about the players we've got, available, and the passing ability. I think he's the prime candidate to play in the 10. So, Soler, going back to Soler, he hasn't been good enough. I'm afraid, he's had some good moments, but with this injury to Paqueta, it's his time to step up. And if he steps up in the next 4, 5, 6 weeks, then we could see different things. For 16 million, I'm one of them people. I'd rather save that money and put it towards someone a little bit better than that. In fact, I'd rather bring up people from the there's people in the academy that deserve, and I think could do a just as good a job as he's done in midfield. I think George Urphy could be a bigger player next year, especially if Paqueta goes or Paqueta's banned. I think George Urphy could do well. I think Popsy could do well. I think there's players in the academy that can step up and do a job, because for me, as I said, he's had moments, and there's been some really good moments, even in the times of the dire times, when he started playing a little bit. He showed some positive signs, but it's not £16 million worth for me. And £80,000 a week is still a lot of money.
It's sort of average nowadays, isn't it? An average, it's sort of the average wage.
But I think if you can bring a kid in there, and I think a kid will do more for that.
I think between now and the end of the season, if he's still being utilised the way he is under Potter won't be signing him, because unless he gets into that team regularly, I can't see us splashing. See, if Potter has a look at him and starts playing him more and goes, you know what, I've got a plan for him next season, and he wants to keep him, then I'm all for it.
Yeah. Potter will have his own ideas. So,
Yeah, we'll get into lineups. Super chat here from HR Izzle. I'm gonna say that's how you're saying it.
HR Izzle, down with
HR Izzle. $4.99 super chat. Thank you very much, mate. Love the content, lads. Hope you're all well despite performances this season. Keep up the great work. Come on, your irons. P.S. They need to bring Potts back. I believe something about Freddie Potts, not my mate Dan Potts from AFTV. Freddie Potts. Didn't he pick up an injury? I think he picked up an injury.
Yeah, I think he has. Yeah.
So yeah, I've got a lot of high hopes for him next season. That's for sure. I think he can potentially cement his place, and I think that's what we're going to have a look at. We may not sign players as early as we did last season, because maybe he's going to want to have a look at the youngsters. Seems very youth orientated. Have a look at what he's got, see who can actually contribute, and then where we need to sign players. But yeah, I mean, look, this Arsenal side, I think you made a good point. Just going to quick on them, that they did look lackluster against Liverpool. They put Marino up top, who's midfielder, who has been a pretty lackluster signing, to be honest, for Arsenal this season. He hasn't been great, but they stuck him up top and he scored 2 goals. Now, whether he can continue that form, or it was one of those things of, look, he's playing against Leicester, we will find out on Saturday.
There's 2 pretty tidy finishes. I'll give him that. There was 2 pretty tidy finishes.
Yeah. And that's it. It's all going to be about that consistency. Listen, if he does it, all them fans, and I'm going to be doing a review of Turkish that are like, Kroenke should have got us a striker, be thinking, whoa, maybe they had a bigger vision than that. But yeah, listen, defensively, they've got some of the best defenders in the league. It's all going to be about us being resolute and standing up to what they've got. Our counter-attack hasn't been good enough for a long time.
But we have got the players, Dan. We have got the players, especially if it starts to get later on in the game and they have to start chucking more at it, because it will, especially if the result stays like it does tonight, they're not going to want to slip up on this chance, And if we can frustrate them, which is a big ask, because they are, for all intents and purposes, one of the better teams in the country at the moment. And they are, for all intents and purposes, facing a team that's got one of the worst defensive records probably in the whole of the fucking 5 divisions, if I'm quite honest with you, in terms of XG per whatever these fucking stats are. XG against teams and all that, we've probably got one of the bit worse. We make the most mistakes, I'm pretty sure of it, in the league. Probably bar Southampton. So
a lot of them are when Mavropanos is playing.
Panos is playing, yeah. But we need to be resolute tomorrow. We need to, and as long as we frustrate them, we'll have a chance, because they will, especially with their lack of firepower, they're going to want to be trying to, when they get, set pieces, they'll be wanting to chuck people forward, and we can hit them on the break. We have got players. You see it against Chelsea. Bowen slipped in behind. Bosh 1-0. And that's that's how dangerous we are at times.
What?
Enough.
You mentioned set pieces. That might be an argument for Souček to start, because they are set piece FC, and he is good in both boxes. So we may need him just for that to defend those set pieces. It's not
we,
sexy, it's not popular, but
I
you
wish
got to
we
do
could
what you got to do.
Andy Carroll, mate, one of the best set piece defenders of all fucking time.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he? He was better at defending them than attacking them half the time. He was pretty good in both boxes, though, to be fair. But yeah, it was. So that just dawned on me. Yeah, we may need him for that, because especially if you're not playing Mavropanos, which I think someone, Charlotte in the chat said that Sufal was injured, and I wasn't even aware of that. That slipped by me. That Sufal's injured, because if you're bringing Todibo, you either play Sufal in that 3 or you play Creswell. So if that removes Sufal, so it would be Sufal and Mavropanos, or Mavropanos for me. Could do. I think Todibo. In fact, we'll get into starting line. What would your starting 11 be? Off the top of your head, we haven't prepared it. It's on the spot.
Yeah, I would probably go with, and this is in no particular order, Areola. Do you know what? I'll go for Scholesy and I on the left, just for a bit of pace. Todibo, Cresswell, Kilman, or Sufal. I'm going to say Cresswell, because Cresswell's got the most experience here. Wan-Bissaka. So that's 6. So that leaves me with 5. Midfield 2.
It's a tough one.
Yeah, I'll go with Ward-Prowse and Souček.
Ward-Prowse and Souček.
Yeah. Wow. Ward-Prowse and Souček.
Okay.
Because you've got one ball player and one defensive player, and as you say, we need someone in both boxes. And I think up top it goes Ferguson, Kudus, and Bowen. If Paqueta would have been fit, I would have made a case to drop Kudus, because he's been poor. But I think them 3, and I think it sort of like interjects where someone drops into the 10, and then they sort of rotate around that way, and you know, I don't know how the fuck they work it out, but yeah, as someone said, our midfield's like a Krispy Kreme donut, and it's without the fucking filling. That's for fucking sure.
Yeah, this is why I had a big debate on here with Scott when he said like the midfield ain't a priority in the summer.
Oh, it's like, number one priority, apart from the striker situation, which I think, you know, we could probably deal with, because we've still got Fulkrug to come back. I don't know when he's coming back. I'll have to have a check at that. Is he going to be back soon? Because it would give us another option.
Well, he may be back sooner than predicted. It may be back by the end of March.
Yeah,
so
that's still a long fucking way away, isn't it? That's as much.
Yeah, but it was a lot sooner than what was predicted. He's been doing the warm weather training in Dubai. We've seen him, so he may be back sooner than like the second week of March or something like that. We may see him. It'll be good.
Cass Simpson makes a good point. Guilherme deserves a go.
But you know what? He does. It's so hard to justify starting him in this game when the geezer's always coming on past the 85th minute in every game, and then just starting him at Arsenal away. Yeah. I would like to see him at least come off the bench earlier, because it's so hard to judge him. The timing he comes on, he never gets a chance to do anything. So yeah, I'd give him a bit. My 11 is probably similar to yours. The only change is I would go with Emerson over Scholes, just because I think Arsenal way, I think we need that bit of experience, and I don't want to throw, as much as I think he could thrive. I don't want to throw Scholes in the deep end like that, but I would like him to be an option off the bench, to come off the bench. Same back 3, Creswell, Todibo and Kilman. Same back 3, but Wan-Bissaka. I would, as much as I said that Souček and Alvarez aren't the best pairing, I would go with him, just because Alvarez is so good defensively. He can be a bit slow to turn, but, you know, he really protects that back line, and he can slot in. And when you do get one of the, like, say, Kilman going forward or Todibo going forward, he slots in. So I would go Alvarez.
Yeah, and Souček, shout, especially with Odegaard. Odegaard floating about. Now, he's the danger for me. He's the danger. You know, obviously we've got a certain number 41 who is going to be fucking running all in a fucking pitch for this game. I'm sure of it because a couple of bad games he had a fucking stormer in the last one. So Odegaard's a danger for me because they have got a good midfield. Partey can pick a pass, Rice can pick a pass, Odegaard can make things happen. So they're the danger for me. So do you pack out the midfield, and try and nullify it there? I would say with what we've got, tool wise, I don't think we can. I don't think we've got enough. Yeah. So, we have to find something else, So do you put in an Alvarez and a Souček to try and frustrate them and go like 8 at the back or whatever, or 7 at the back? Yeah, it's a tough one. It is a tough one.
It's a tough one. Yeah, it's obviously not as progressive having them two in there. But again, the only reason I go for Souček is his ability in both boxes. Yeah, that's why I always get annoyed when Scott says he's a box-to-box midfielder because he's good in both boxes, but the problem is he's not good in between the boxes.
Yes, yeah, that's the problem. But I'll be honest with you, he has stepped up a little bit under Potter, but he was poor on Saturday.
Yeah, I think he done a great job as captain while Bowen was away. Bowen's going to be the key man in this game. He's going to be the man we rely on to step up and have their moments. He's the best finisher in the club, which it was funny because it was a few years ago, me and Scott was saying he needs to improve his finishing, and he did. He's going to be the man that we can, I think, rely on to do something against Arsenal. And yeah, listen, it's going to be tough. I want to win this game so bad. I want to get something off them. I'm so sick of these last few results. We owe them one. We really owe them one.
To be fair, it's been such a poxy season. It has been really poor this season. I mean, in terms of, writing seasons off, it was only felt like yesterday that we was getting to the beginning of it. And it was, we was talking about, how excited we are for the season. It's been fucking poor, even poorer than the last one, especially with a couple of changes of managers. So, yeah, a result like this could pick it up and it could make, I think there's an wrestling stand making chicken salad out of chicken shit.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I can't remember what chicken salad tastes like at this club, honestly. It's been, Joe asks Dan, is Arsenal your most hated team? I would say it is. It has become my most hated team for sure. I didn't, and personally, and Nick, you grew up similar area to me. I don't remember meeting any Spurs fans in East London when I was growing up.
No, not when I was growing up. No.
I didn't know any growing up in East London.
The twats.
Yeah. So there you go. H Rizzle, another finance chat. Thank you, mate. Or HR Rizzle. Sorry. I would like to see Orford given a chance. Why not? He's young and promising, and we're clearly lacking in that area. I think he does need to be given more of a go. Whether this game is it, and someone mentioned about our line or our process of being too defensive isn't the wisest choice, but I just don't think we've got the personnel in defense and midfield to be as expansive as we want to be. Do you know what I mean? Like, and open at the back. I just don't see it with the way our defense is. 5 at the back or 3 at the back, whatever you want to call it. We've looked so much better, so much more organized when we've done that, and that's why I think for this game especially, we've got to do it. We try and go toe to toe with them, they'll just cut us open at the back, and we've seen it with teams that do that. That's what Arsenal want you to do. The teams that are a little bit more defensive, low block, Arsenal really struggle to break them down.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, especially now they've got no forwards. They struggle at the best of times. They've become, let's be honest, they've become a fucking posh Stoke.
Yeah,
this season they have. They've become a Stoke 2.0.
They play for corners, like rather than put a cross in, they'll kick the ball at the defender so it goes out for a corner rather than put the cross in. I've seen it so many times. It's mental. So, I mean, looking at it then, what are you saying for your prediction then?
2-2. I said it the other day. I'm going to stick with it. 2-2. Definitely.
You took mine. Do you know what? I'm going to say 1-1. No, do you know what? Fuck it. 2-1 West Ham.
Oh,
I'm saying.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right. I mean, listen.
It would be so West Ham, wouldn't it? It would be so West Ham.
The thing is with Arsenal, at the end of the day, at the moment, at this precise moment, if we don't lose, it's a win. You know, they've got everything to lose, and we've got nothing to lose. Because if they beat us, they're expected to beat us. But that's the most dangerous times. You know, that's when we come up trumps most of the time. So
we need a response at the very least. Even if we lose, it has to be a performance. Because that was absolutely dire. So the players need to show that they can respond, and they're better than that. And that's what we want to see on Saturday. Because my God, it is. It's not been good. It's not been good. So yes.
Let's get off this fucking podcast, right? Let's go and finish this up and then go and see what that fucking stupid cow's been saying.
Oh, my God. I'm trying to delay it. I'd rather hang out with these on and we'll go suffer Karen Brady, but we'll do it so we can give you guys an informed opinion. Honestly, it's going to be painful. But thank you all so much for watching. Like I said, go and check out the other videos. If you haven't already,
come and see me Saturday if you're at Arsenal.
Yes, you'd be just outside the exit.
The exit, just look for
just outside the exit.
So
but Friday night pint should be good. I believe it will be me, Nikki, and Scott, and we'll be talking about the Brady thing. We'll be talking about all this other stuff. The Brady Bunch. That's West Ham. So thank you all for watching. One thing left to say: come on, you Irons.